You happy? Everything looks all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, you know how to use microphones?
Talk into it.
Actually, my first lesson today. Hoping I mess it up.
All right. This is cool, man.
Can I take this off?
Yeah, you take it off. It's probably sticks, so just
Prima donna guitar players, that's how you go.
Yeah.
Just gotta move it so I can move the mic. I gotta
just you can
flappy
just
plates for
put
me.
it on the floor. Yeah, the pad sticks. It's a little. So just give it a good yank. It'll eventually free up. There you go. Yeah, that's perfect.
All right. Make it good for me.
Yeah, gotta be good. Gotta be good for you. That's right. Cool. All right, we're here with the Mick Lewis Band. We got all you guys.
Yeah, man.
We got. All right, I'm gonna forget. Jason.
Yep.
Right on. Mick, that's easy.
Yeah.
John. I got it.
You did good.
I don't have a Mick Lewis hat, by the way.
I'll have to get you one.
Yes, please. I'm wearing a different hat, and it's time to upgrade.
Oh, I feel your pain, dude. I got a summer straw cowboy hat. Now it's September, and now I look weird, so I'm like, I need a new hat.
Yeah. So
got
it's
to
time.
hat shop.
I got one for you. Someone gave it to me,
Oh, really?
but it might fit you, and it's black. It's cool. It's a little big for me. I got a small noodle, so
Yeah.
it might work better for you.
Small noodle. I've
Noodle.
been happily married this long with a small noodle, man. Damn.
So you married? You're married.
I am
Yeah.
married.
Right on. You're not. I know that. What about you, John? Yeah. Right on. How long, guys?
I've been married for 16 years.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's it?
That's cool.
Yeah, well, I've been together, married for 16, but we've been together, so let me do the math, another 7 years, so
Right on.
23 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
cool, man.
Yeah, she's cool. She lets me be me.
Yeah,
All right,
Gina
that's
told
good.
me a story.
I'm gonna send her
one
that
time.
clip.
To a certain point.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gina told me a story one time. I don't remember whose hair she was doing, but she told me that she was talking about you, and she was, I got to do the scissor thing. She's like, "Yep, he'll be mine." She just knew intuition.
She loves telling people that. Yeah, she waited till I was in clean sight in the field, and she boom,
That's
she
awesome.
got me.
Mm.
So.
I met my
was
wife.
it like a harpoon thing with a
No, it was a
Yeah.
rifle. She
It was a
knows.
Nerf dart.
Nerf dart?
I met my wife at a restaurant we were working at, and there's the wait station where the coffee pots and all that crap is. And she's walking through, and that's when we first noticed each other. So later that night, the crew all kind of hangs out, and we play guitar and just chat and drink beers and stuff. So she comes to me, she says, "David, my car's broken. Can you give me a ride home?" I was like, "Car was never broken. I'm married 30 years."
They're tricky.
Yeah. So that's good stuff. So guys, cool. Thanks for coming, all of you. That's terrific. You got a show coming up on the 13th. Let's just start there. Let's get that right off the top. You got a show at the Softtail on the 13th of.
Yep.
I don't know if this episode will actually make it because today is September 12th, and we're not going to be able to turn it for tomorrow to get people notice. But we'll start there anyway. What do you got going on?
Well, if you want to find our dates, the MickLewisBand.com. Yeah, so last time we talked, I said we were fortunate enough to be playing a whole lot, and that trend has continued. So,
Yeah, your calendar's chock full. I looked at it today. Yeah,
it's
that's
great,
awesome.
man. So tomorrow we're Softtail, and then the next day we're Rally Caps in North Brantford.
Yep.
And
I got the
yeah.
schedule if you want to look at
yeah,
it.
pull it up. Let's see what's going on.
I can't read out my glasses.
Gotta enlarge it.
There you go, mine.
Yeah. So yep. Softtail tomorrow, Rally Caps day after, and then wrong button here. Yeah, and the 21st we're doing a party for our buddy Denise, who's a huge supporter. Love you, Denise. Hope you see this. And then the 27th we're at Winchester in Portland. You ever been out there?
No.
That's a really cool biker
Okay.
spot.
That's a new place for us.
yeah.
We've never played there, yeah.
And then the next day, the 28th, John and I were headed up to Lenox, Massachusetts for the Pan Mass Challenge, kind of
Sweet.
like end of the ride party, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yep.
Sweet.
So,
How do you get your bookings? How does that happen? You could reach out. Do they call you? A little bit of both.
So in the beginning, it was all just me sending
Yeah.
out phone calls and emails, and then Rob and I, we would just go out there, have a soda, and try to talk to whoever's in charge and just get some dates on the calendar. But now we're just lucky, man. That's the best way I can put it. Now we're
That's awesome.
lucky enough that the schedule just books itself at this point.
That's-
People keep calling me like, "You got this date open?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's go. Let's go, Jack."
What's your favorite venue that you like so far?
Oh my God. I don't know. I need a moment to mull that over. What do you think, Jason?
Well,
what's yours?
let's go over the favorite ones. You got Softtail rallies. The Docs we played the other night. That was
pretty cool. Good people out.
a little tiny bar, but great reception. That was really got really.
Wait, but Doc's not in Clinton.
Yeah, Docs and Clinton.
You
man.
played Doc's in Clinton.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I just started going to Doc's. That's a cool little local pub, man.
It
I
is,
like
man.
it.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
When did you
right?
play that? When was that? I missed that date.
What was that?
Saturday.
Yeah, that's past Saturday. Yeah.
That's Saturday. Oh, you got to play there again. Let me know, because I'll go. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
you
man,
played
they
right in the
love
corner
this
there.
center.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I figured they would.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's next to that good seafood restaurant too, right next door. Me and my wife ate there with a couple friends of mine.
Nice.
But that place is really, just when you think it's gonna be like, I don't know, maybe not good, and it just turns out to be like this awesome.
Well, that was the
time.
feeling I had when we were setting up. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if they're gonna like me.
Me
here.
too. Well, I wouldn't
And
think
then,
they're not gonna like you. I think it's how's it gonna go over type shit.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just like if they dug our stuff.
Yeah,
You
right,
know, and then we started playing, and I mean, you see that one lady in the back, all the Skinnerd stuff we were playing.
Oh,
and
she
she's
was
like,
hollering,
you know?
skating,
she's like, you got that right, you know.
yeah.
So we're.
Nice. Well, yeah, you go back then. Yeah, I like that. I was messing around. I found some band I wanted to check out, so I went. Never been there before. Cool vibe. Just they're a cover band, but I forget what they played, but really good stuff.
Yeah.
No originals or anything. But it was a blast, man. We had a good time. I had a few beers, and I left. But it was really cool. I went back again, and it was dead. But so I went to another place. I'd like you to play at what was it, Scottish Dave's in Clinton. But he does
Heard about that spot.
for some reason he does a lot of metal and like
Yeah,
punk.
that's what I was hearing a lot about him. I
You
think
would
it's-
never think just meeting the guy
Yeah.
he'd be doing a lot of metal and like punk, and then he does like Scottish music, which I can't stay for that. I gotta leave. when
Does
that
he
starts
get a
playing.
lot of people coming in for the metal
He
shows?
does. Yeah, gets a ton.
Something about the shoreline
packed.
down here that
Yeah.
people they love the live
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially out towards Milford too. There's a heavy like alt scene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, but there's no other. I mean, if you go to Guilford and Madison, there's not many like places where you can get bands like yours and stuff. There maybe like little acoustic sets, which is fine, but I mean nothing like Rally Caps or like Softtail,
Yeah.
which is cool. Yeah, so I got to make the trip up there. Check
You ever
guys out.
been to Donahue's back in the day before COVID when they used to have bands?
Yeah, not often, but yeah, I was there.
Yeah. I wish they'd still do live music, dude. I'd
Yeah.
love to play there.
Yeah, I wish you haven't been there in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went there because they used to have good wings. I don't know what happened. They changed the recipe. So I was there with my son. We ordered wings and chowder or whatever. Not to put them down or anything because they were still good. But so the wings come out and I'm eating them. I'm like, these are like barbecue. I just get buffalo regular. But I'm these like a barbecue. So I asked the waiter, I was like, are these barbecue? She said, no. I said, well, we changed the recipe. I was like, oh, okay. We should have told me because they're different now.
Yeah.
They're still good, but that surprised me. But Donahue's is a cool place. Yeah, that's a good spot. How'd you guys start playing together?
So I met Jason at a Christmas party.
Family Christmas party.
Family Christmas party. Musumeci Christmas party. And your hair was short at the time.
Yeah, it was a little shorter.
And I was trying to put the band together, and I saw you, and I was like, hey, man, anybody ever tell you look like Steve Gaines? And he looks at me, he goes, who the fuck is Steve
I
Gaines?
don't think I said it so angrily, but I said like, what the fuck is Steve Gaines, motherfucker? What the fuck?
Yeah, man. And I showed you a picture, like, I don't look like him. And I'm like, whatever.
But then we
Then we started talking about guitars.
Right, we did the whole
Yeah.
not dick pic thing, but guitars.
Yeah,
you know what
guitar
I mean?
porn. Yep.
Right. So he showed me his picture of his Les Paul, and I showed a picture of a Telecaster that I had just purchased, and then a couple weeks later, he asked me, "Hey, man, you wanna, join the band?" My wife is cousins with his roommate.
Okay.
So my wife's cousin Danielle is his roommate. So that's why we were all at the same
Gotcha.
Christmas party together.
Gotcha.
So, and then a couple weeks later, I got a hold of his album. I think it actually was online. And I listened to it, and I was like, man, this kid can write some really great songs. And I've been in a lot of the bands, and I've heard a lot of original music, but there's something about mixed music that just hit me. It was, you just felt it. You felt his voice. I mean, the kid can sing he's a soul. It's all soul. So anyway. Go ahead.
Well, thank you,
Stealing the show there, but no, he's
Nice.
he's very talented, writes great music, and I was like, that's how I joined the band anyway. So
Yep. And John, I say from the clearance shelf. No, I'm kidding. What was it? Band Mix? I found you, or was
Mike.
it from
Mike
Bafuma?
Bafuma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Were we auditioning drummers
we were auditioning
first?
drummers first, yeah.
Yeah, we were auditioning drummers first, and we settled on a guy, Mike Bafuma, who he's not with us currently, but he still fills in. And then I think bass players after that, right?
I think so. I can't remember. Did we have Mike or did we get John and then we got Mike from? Did you introduce us to Mike Bafuma?
No, Mike called me.
Okay,
And
so
he
that
said,
was
"Hey,
after the fact.
you know, I was playing with another band at the time, and I had been in several bands with Mike Bafuma before, and he called me up and said, "Hey, you want to come down and you know, check out this band? You know, this guy Mick writes some really great songs, and you know, I think they might like you because they're looking for a bass player." And so I came down. And you gave me some songs to learn, and I
Yep.
came down and
Absolutely crushed
Killed
it.
it.
Nice.
Killed it.
and
Well, I think I don't know if stoic's the right word, but I like watching basses that they're just there and they're in the zone and you're just playing, you're just doing that, and that's how you play. I noticed. I guess maybe I don't know. That's how I saw
pretty
it.
much, yeah.
Yeah.
It's great, man. And it's right there. So yeah, nice backbone.
He's got
That
the
sounds
the
great.
best facial expression.
Well, that's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
His hands move, and everything else is
It's
the
just-
same
it's just
except
the
for his jaw.
Like
It's
he was doing coke all night, which he
Yeah.
doesn't, but it looks like.
Yeah, he plugs in, does a line, and goes, "Let's go to the beach." You know.
Those are good old days, yeah. But
So
yeah,
so how long you been playing together then?
This will be our third year together.
Okay.
Yeah, right around
Okay.
when it becomes the winter, it's like our third year.
Yeah.
So it's the end of the 2 and 10 months, 2 and 11 months, almost 3 years.
So I know Mick, you wrote some songs. Have you guys written any songs together? You're trying to write some songs together. How does that? What's the songwriting process like?
So it's an interesting concept now. So I still write pretty much everything, and I'll like record a demo of it at my house, right? And but what's cool about it, I mean, even the stuff that's like been previously recorded, I think we talked a little bit about it last time, is so you listen to the album and it sounds one way, but then you come to a show and it still sounds pretty much that way, but it's a little different. You know, like I'll give you an example. Some of the leads that I play, Jason either won't play them or he'll play something
I
different.
refuse.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
I will not.
I can't do it.
You shall not pass. Yeah, like Chevy, like you play some of the leads a little different than I did.
He allows a little color in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, variety is the spice of life. It keeps it different. You know, it keeps it valid. You know, and that's how it, it doesn't get boring. You know what I mean?
yeah. And if one of us has an idea for a piece, like in Chevy, for instance, I threw a couple of places where there was extra space.
Right.
I threw a couple of bass lines in, but I asked Mick, "What do you think of this? Would you And he's very open-minded about stuff. He'll tell you if it doesn't fit, he'll say it doesn't fit. But if he likes a piece, he'll say, yeah, let's keep that.
Yeah.
And so we trying to make it more collaborative, which is great. Swamp People's another one we're working on now, and I've come up with a few ideas for that too. And
Have we heard that yet? Swamp People yet?
We
you
played it
played-
live a handful of times,
Yeah,
but
okay.
we're actually going in the studio August 9th, and we're gonna cut
All right.
that song.
Where you-
October 9th?
Did I say August?
Yeah.
Shows you how much
I'm
sleep
just
I
making
get.
sure, Mike. Did I miss that?
Yeah, it's already over. You're done. Sorry.
You recording at Ace Tone still?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, nice.
I love Matt, dude.
Yeah, he's your engineer over there still.
So
'Cause I
it's
know
him.
he's sort of doing different things now, but
Yeah, so it's him, and then the intern he's had for a while, Lucas. Have you met him yet?
I don't know if I've met him.
Super nice guy. Just like a machine.
Okay.
Dude. Like the knowledge that kid has, amazing.
How's the studio? I haven't been there in a long.
It's great.
Same setup.
I mean, he built a vocal booth a couple
Okay.
of years ago. Have you seen that? Or
There was a booth there. If it's the same one when I was there. When we
oh
shot
yeah,
the-
we shot the videos.
Yeah, we shot the
yeah,
videos.
I think, yeah.
Okay, is that one?
Yeah, so he's got the vocal booth. I mean, he's always upgrading, like
Good. He's a good
like
dude.
those, like the rack mounts that he has. He's
Yeah.
always getting something new.
Nice.
New microphones. He's got this huge microphone in the booth. Looks like a crane arm kind of, and this huge microphone. Great vocal takes on it though.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to come. What'd you say? October 9th?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe I'll stop by if that's cool.
Should, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely. We're
that'd
actually
be fun.
bringing a couple of super fans in.
Okay.
So
All right.
He did a great job. I just have to say on the production of
killed
Mick's
it.
Rebel Soul album. It's
Okay.
just, I don't know how much he had in the pie, but whatever he did, it sounds really good. It sounds very professional, and
Yeah.
he said it was the hook that got me and John.
Yeah.
to the band.
Yeah,
So
Matt's
it sounds
particular.
really-
He's a
he did
good
great
dude.
job.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. He wrote that. don't know if I shared this with you. We did like a project together for a nonprofit. We wrote this song for something. It was for foster care. So we did this whole like mock-up live concert where we had brought in talent. He wrote the song. He had some people perform it, record it, and then we did this whole mock-up thing. We had a smoke machine and all this kind of stuff. It was cool. And all these people. It's like it actually looks pretty cool. But yeah, he nailed it. He wrote it and recorded it and everything. Yeah, he's a good dude. Yeah, he does a good job.
Do you play an instrument?
No, I used to bang around on the bongos and congas and stuff a while back, but
cool. Because you have a musician vibe.
Yeah,
to you.
no, it's fun. I went to. You ever play at the Cellar in Hamden?
Back in the day when I used to play punk rock, I played there a lot.
So I went to the Cellar a couple weeks ago to see a band because it's this called Pinto Graham, I think. And he reached out to me, so I've been having trouble to connect. So he was playing, so I go down to the Cellar, and I thought it was like he goes on at 7. They don't go on until 8, but it's a whole bunch of bands, so he doesn't end up going until 11. Anyway, I'm getting there by myself. People coming up, you in one of the bands you playing tonight? I'm like, no, man, I'm just hanging out. But thanks, I appreciate it.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's a cool spot. I've never been to that venue. Yeah, it's a cool venue.
Yeah, the guy who owns it, Pete, super cool dude.
Yeah, I think he was bartender. I think.
Yeah, he kind of he does a little bit of everything. I mean, I've seen him behind the bar and behind the soundboard.
Yeah,
cool guy.
Because I was across the way at what used to be, because it's still there. I don't know what the heck the space or something. No, not the space. What's it called?
It's the Space Ballroom.
The Space Ballroom. Oh yeah. But they changed it. They eliminated one of the stages or something. I don't know what they did over there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that was a cool spot. But yeah, no, I was commented, you in the band? I was like, no, I'm not in the band.
You got the look, though. There's nothing wrong with that.
All right, that's cool. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Where were we? So I was going to ask you, because you mentioned, you added a couple bass lines and stuff like that, as was okay. So you ever playing stuff live where you just sort of improvise? I mean, how does that work? I mean, I've seen one of your shows. A couple of your shows, actually. Does that happen constantly? Do you talk about all right, I know we're supposed to have a little thing here. Should we go off on a little bit of a solo? How does that all work? Do you sort of talk about how you can perform the concert ahead of time, or not so much?
We've had some fish jams before.
Sometimes we know where we're going. Sometimes we don't.
Okay.
We just let the train roll.
Yeah.
Well, Mary Jane's Last Dance, we do that whole big psychedelic jam.
Yeah, we do a breakdown in the middle of the song. We'll break it down, and it took me a little bit to get these guys to do it, but I was the one. But anyway, it was cool. You guys, it's just sorry, I had to say it. But
feel better about yourself now?
But it was cool because a little bit.
Yeah.
So in the middle of that song, we just John holds down an A, and then Mick just goes off and does this really cool
with the wop. I was wow.
Yeah, he does really great
reverb.
Stuff. I'll hold it down the rhythm, and we just kind of space it out, and it's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Well, it lets the song breathe.
It makes it new and interesting. I mean, we banging out the same tunes every time we play can get a little tedious and hard sometimes.
Well, going back to what I said before, variety is the spice of life. Keeps it new.
Yeah.
I think about that sometimes. These bands have been playing for a decade, 2, 3, and they're going 30 years, whatever. They play the same song, right? Mm-hmm. So obviously they change it up a little bit. Maybe they get a little different, whatever they're doing. How is that every night going and playing the same song, even though you're varying it up a little bit? Is that something you get tired of? Is something that you're excited to play the songs all the time?
How many songs you got now? We said you went through a list, and we have over 100 and what?
129. I made a master list of every song we know how to play. It's 129 songs.
That's a
lot.
But
I mean, a lot of the songs that we'll pull out, they're kind of constant. But I mean, it goes back to feeling thankful, because these are songs that the fans will be like, we want to hear this one, we want to hear it, and they want it every time. And even if you get that split second moment of, man, I'm tired of playing it, you remember who you're playing it for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're like, it's brand new to me now. If you smile when you hear it, I'll play it all night if you want.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
It's for that. He said it best one night a few weeks ago. He said to me, man,
I said something right.
Yeah. Yeah, he goes, man, it's the fans that make the show. And I'm like, dude, I totally agree with you.
Yeah, you got some great fans. I mean, you got some awesome fans.
Yeah.
They're just all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was playing a solo gig a few weeks ago up in East Hampton at this beach club. And I had sent some songs out to Nashville and stuff like that, and I won't name names because they're all good people, but one guy told me, he's like, it's a good song, but the hook sucks. That's pretty much what he said.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, thanks, I guess, So, but going to this beach show, I played that same song, and they loved it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? So I ended up making a comment. I was like, I sent this to like some executive, and he told me that the hook was terrible, but you guys love it, right? And they were like, yeah. And I'm like, that's why you're my real boss.
Yeah. No, you're right,
So.
because he's an executive, right? What does he know? You're playing for the fans.
Yeah.
It's important. It's good. You stay true to that. Are you? So are you working on a second album? You said you talk about something on another
working
album.
on like an EP.
Yeah, like an
right
EP.
now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold off on a full length for a while.
So what's an EP? Is that like 4 songs, something like that?
About 5.
5. Okay.
Just because with the way music is consumed now, I mean, especially with social media too, it's kind of the same formula. It's instant gratification. They got a short attention span now, and it's not talking junk on anybody. It's just the way the world is.
Yeah. No. Absolutely.
So the best way to do it is to just put an EP out or just keep releasing singles every
Okay.
couple of months. So that's what we're going to be doing.
What platform do you find gets the most attention? Is it the people play? Is it like Spotify, Apple, Facebook? Like what do you get?
Well, as far as playing the music, I find YouTube's the best.
YouTube. Okay, that makes sense.
And maybe I'm a little biased because with YouTube, I feel like I can get like the best statistic for it. If that's the best way to put it, like how many views, But as far as fan interaction, I mean, it's got to be Facebook. Instagram's great too. I love posting on there, but Facebook seems to be the best. I get the most comments on there, and and people follow along. And I mean, sometimes we'll be so busy that like we'll forget to post about a show, but they're so diehard that they're already looking at the website.
Right.
So it'll be the day of the show, and I'll put something on my store, and we show up, and the place is packed. They're like, "We looked at your website." Like what a feeling that is.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for everything.
That is very cool. That instead of they're proactive. Like you got to see Mick, man. Where's he playing? Let's check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's a good feeling.
Going back to Docs, we played there, and I mean, there was a gentleman in the back that we finished the show, and he was like, "You guys are the best band we've ever had here," and I'm like, "We're newbies here to y'all, and we're the best band."
You almost kind of don't believe it. It's like, we're the first band to play here, no, but no, they really mean it. So
yeah, man,
we like to have fun when we play. Like Mick said it before, about the fans and it's just fun for us. That's what makes it fun for them, and then in return we feed off that whole energy back and forth because we like playing with each other. We just feed off it.
Yeah.
And,
No, that shows. That shows. You look at each other, and that's part of the fun of seeing a band live. When they're not just playing, they're actually feeding off each other. They look and you look for signals. However, you guys communicate.
People see that.
Yeah, they see that,
they
which
do.
is great. Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing worse than seeing a band that maybe sound good, but they're not looking at each other just kind of like,
They're
I
just
want to
doing
clean my fish tank. I want to work on my car. They're not there. You know what I mean?
They're not there. Yeah. So you're hearing the music, but there's no.
Yeah.
The energy isn't there, and I think just that communication you have, because that means every show is different.
Yeah.
It really brings the energy. And Docs is great because they have that bar that's like what do you call it? It's
like a horseshoe
horseshoe
kinda.
bar.
Yeah.
So you're not like up against the wall. Everybody's there. Everybody can
perfect.
see each other, and it's a big space when you come in, and you're right there. So when people walk in and you're playing, like people walk right in front of you when they come in. But that's cool, man. They like go right into a wall of music. It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and they love to dance out there too.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, there's people there that I had never met in my life, and they're up by our mic stands dancing around. I mean, we even played some of my stuff, and it got them up dancing. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it was an awesome night.
Yeah, I mean, because people that see us, regularly and know the music, of course, they'll get up and dance. But for a handful of people that have never seen us before, never heard these songs, and they get up and start moving, like
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
And going back to the comment he made about like the tunes making it real, and what he said is, I remember the context, but it's like sometimes we'll play like Give Me 3 Steps. Like I've played a song like I don't know, so many times, and sometimes I'll catch myself like I'm playing it again, but I have to remember, if you're out there performing, play it like it's the first time you're playing. And I always try to remember that. I got that from a guy on YouTube. His name is Tim Pierce. If you're playing a G chord, make sure you're playing that G chord the best way you can every single time, because people see that stuff.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be there, don't be there. But if you're going to be there, play the G chord. Play that Give Me 3 Steps by Leonard Skinner, and it's like you start feeling it, and people feel that.
Yeah.
And
But at the same time, it's also got to be a feeling too, right? You can't be so technical to play that G chord or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure playing guitars for so long and bass, and it's just sort of partying now. So you just know where to go and how to hit it, and if maybe hold it a little longer, a little shorter, depending on, I don't know. I'm not a musician, I don't know, but that's kind of the feeling I'm getting. That's what makes it really a good show.
And we all kind of do that too. I'm playing it a little bit different. It's not as rigid. Mick is a leader that likes a little bit of leeway. He understands his guys get off on that leeway, get off on that little movement that he allows as a leader, and that's
awesome. Yeah, it's important.
Yeah,
and he lets us show off. Yeah. Like every now and then.
John's always got free bass solos.
Every now and then, he just comes out of nowhere, and I got to come up with something.
Yeah, dude.
So he just looks over at me.
He points to you, and he's like, do something.
I'm like, go ahead, get on him.
And so I find that's another nice thing, to give everybody a little bit of space and give everybody a little something, Right. So, and it's always good. And one thing I wanted to mention about his original music, and one thing that strikes me sometimes is we'll be there playing one of his songs, and I'll look out in the audience, and they're singing along with it. Wow. Yeah. They know the songs.
That something?
Yeah. And that's such a cool feeling. Yeah. And for you, it must be like.
Did I ever tell you the story how I caught somebody at a stoplight by my house playing my songs?
I think you might mention it once, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if I told it on the podcast, but I'll do it anyway. So it was when I just moved into my apartment in Middletown, right? I'm throwing garbage out, whatever. Go outside, throw the garbage out, and I live right on a busy street. There's a stoplight right there. Throw the garbage out, and I hear my song twang, and I'm like, is that my speakers inside? Because it's summertime, windows are open. And it wasn't. It was like these kids in a pickup truck right at the stop sign.
That is.
And
you had no idea who they were. Just
I was like, oh my god, that's me.
That's awesome. That is really cool.
Yeah.
So
meanwhile, I'm standing there in Crocs, like, hey,
That's cool. That's a good feeling.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've been like noticed around town at stores. I mean, I had a woman at Goodwill one time tell me that she likes my music. She was like, "Are you the guy that sings that American Dream song?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So meanwhile, I'm like looking at used pots and stuff. I'm like, "Oh, I could cook soup in that," So
what's wrong with Goodwill?
Oh, I love Goodwill.
Yeah, Goodwill's great. No, Goodwill's good. So, John, sort of, where'd you start? Where'd you start playing bass, and how'd you get to where you are? So, give us a little history.
He's actually written every song ever.
Well, there's a place in Wethersfield. I grew up in Wethersfield called Creative Strings, and my first bass was a Ventura bass, which was a Fender copy.
Old school.
Ventura made good stuff.
It was good. Yeah.
I had a '72 Ventura SG.
And back then, Jocko was big in the '70s, and so I decided to rip the frets out of that and play it fretless.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. I ripped the frets out and I finished it over and I played it fretless. And I used to play with my action ridiculously high. People just would look at him and say, "How can you play it like this?"
Yeah.
And it, I don't know why. I just always did. And
what's action for those of us that don't know?
The space between the fretboard and the strings.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the higher it is, the harder it is to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my first teacher was Dave Santoro. He was a jazz teacher, a Hart School of Music teacher, and he taught lessons at Creative, and started with the Rufus Reed books, and started with jazz as my background, but I was always a rocker. I couldn't help myself, and so then. And then Tyler Van Ostrand also was one of my teachers over there, and then I bought a couple other. I bought my Kramer bass there with the aluminum neck, and that was
phenomenal.
That thing was like a beast. I mean,
did you ever bring that to a gig yet?
No, I sold. It's one of those. There's always an instrument you regret you sold, and that was one of the ones I regret I sold.
He's got a few of those.
And that thing with a set of Roto Sound bright strings on it, that thing just snarled. It was like,
wow.
And so some of my first bands were. There was a good friend of mine, Steve D'Onofrio, who is no longer with us, sadly. But he was my first drummer that I ever played with, and we would just go down to his basement. We'd put headphones on and we'd play like Brian Auger or like Oblivion Express or something like that, and we would just jam to it, you know. And I'd have the headphones on, he'd have them on, and we'd just be jamming to you know some like Second Wind and some of his other. He just had some good grooves, and then we would do Sunday night jam sessions, and you know so I got together with some other local people in town, and we would do some original music and jams, a lot of jams.
This was mostly up in Weathersfield,
which is a lot of
Hartford,
improvisation.
Mostly up in Weathersfield, Hartford, up there,
yeah,
at this point.
mostly all in
Yeah.
Weathersfield, and then I joined a band called Steamroller, which was this guy Dave Rommel. You guys met him at
Jerry's, right?
at Jerry's. Yeah.
Oh, the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Old school.
and we were a power trio, and we did all kinds of heavy metal, and he had some great originals too that we did, and we did everything from Dio and Stones and CCR and just Sabbath and just all kinds of great stuff, and just and then through the decades, I've been in and out of a bunch of different bands. Did some classic rock cover bands,
Yep.
a lot of those. And I was actually playing with a band called the Wingos when Mike
Wingos.
Bafuma called me, and we were doing all good old bar fare cover kind of
Sure.
stuff, and then I joined up with Mick's band, and through the years I've experimented with a lot of different equipment, a lot of different amps and speakers, and never been really happy. I think I'm settled on some good gear now. I bought a 5-string. I've had several different 5-strings and 4-strings, but I bought another 5-string finally because a lot of the stuff, the country stuff, the new modern country, there's a lot of D and lower
Low notes.
and lower
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
there in a lot of the modern country. So I had to adapt back to that.
Yeah.
And so I still have my trusty Carvin 4-string, which has been was my main axe since 1995, and I still like playing that once in a while.
I like that one. I like the sound of that one.
we played a party, and I brought that one out for the party, and so there's a running joke that no bass player should ever have more than one guitar at a gig, and it would have come in handy a couple times when my bass broke down, and thankfully Jason was there with his skills, and he got the thing going for me.
Well, tell the audience what happened the other night, right before the gig.
Oh, the car crash?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you got someone
Man
hit
of
him.
Steel.
Yeah, some idiot. I was minding my own business at my stop sign, and some guy just was taking a left into the street I was going into, and instead of going into his lane, he
It drove right in your lanes. Looked like.
smashed directly
just
into my
smashed
car,
right into you?
head on right into my car. Yeah, and totaled my car.
Oh,
I was going to a gig. I was going to a gig, so I had to text these guys at the last minute. I got a car.
Yeah, we had a gig.
Yeah, dude, I'm driving. He goes in our band chat. He goes, "Someone just totaled my car," and I'm like,
What? Yeah, we're like, what?
"What?" So, but the next day he was there crushing the gig like
Damn.
nothing happened, man.
you all right?
Steel.
I mean, you're here. You're here.
I'm sore still.
you're sore a
it'll
little
be
bit?
a while. Yeah.
Your gear okay? Everything, guitars are good.
Oh
all
yeah, that stuff was all
good.
safe.
Good.
Fortunately, Jason was able to step in on the Friday night and save the day.
Yeah, man, playing bass.
Nice.
So
Couldn't hard shoes to fill, but I made it
Yeah,
work.
thanks for making me miss John, Jason.
Right, everyone kept saying that. Boy, he plays so bass. I miss John a lot more now.
no, but we're so
Awesome.
but I've been doing this since late 70s.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many years that is anymore.
Well,
50.
since
Almost
you mentioned your
40.
age, tell them who you saw at the Colt Park in Hartford.
Oh, Jethro Tull.
Oh wow.
And
Coles Park.
Frampton Comes Alive. He
Frampton
saw
Comes
that
Alive.
tour,
Yeah, that tour. I
Wow.
saw that one. I saw
1976.
a lot of good shows. We saw a lot of good shows at Coles Park until
Yeah, it's so cool.
Jay
I just think
Giles.
it's
Jay
amazing.
Giles opened up for Jethro Tull, and a young man named Michael Bolton opened up for Jay Giles.
Wow.
So he came out there on the stage with his guitar, and he just came out and played a few songs, and
Holy cow.
people were just it was kind of raining a little bit, and
Yeah.
everybody was a little cranky out there and yelling for Tull, of course, and And Jay Giles came out and they did their thing, and people are still yelling for Tull. They didn't want to see Jay Giles. We wanted to see Tull.
Imagine.
Yeah.
You know, Jay Giles wasn't even that well known back
Right.
then.
Yeah.
And then Tull comes out with Television. They had one of the first concerts I ever saw where they had a video screen
Yeah.
for the band, you know, and he's got the Aqualung coat on, you know, and he's throwing his flute in the air, and it was just nuts. It
That's
was like,
crazy.
Going back.
That's wild.
that was a great show.
When they used to have shows at the Colt Park.
Colts Park, yeah. And Grateful Dead came, and I think that was probably one of the last shows. I think they kind of spoiled it.
People
'cause-
camping out all over the city. on
Oh,
that one.
they knocked down the fences and
Jeez.
poured in. It was like 40,000 people or something ridiculous. and-
Hartford's Woodstock.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, all the Grateful Dead. All those. I never saw so many mini bug Volkswagens in my life. And
Yeah.
Is this park next to the old Colt factory? Because is it like is it a sports field or something?
Well, it's
it's near Dillon Stadium.
Dillon. Okay, that's what I was
Yes.
thinking
Yeah.
of. Dillon Stadium.
It's,
Okay.
it's next to the Colt.
Yeah,
The
okay.
Colt
building.
Colt building, a whole
Okay.
factory like that. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
a whole thing. They have all these fields and stuff. So it's actually a good place to do a concert. So it makes sense.
Are they doing anything there now? I mean,
don't
or
think
is
so,
it just
no,
it's just a
no.
park?
No.
Okay.
It's just a park. They do have is that Dillon Stadium? Is that what you said?
They used to have shows at Dillon Stadium. I don't know if they still do.
Yeah.
or
It's
not,
not, but there's like
That's
a
what I was
soccer
asking.
there's
field now. I forgot what it's called. but
Well,
they have
Dillon
soccer.
Stadium used to be. I don't know if any of you guys remember back in the day. You might remember the Hartford Knights. We had a semi-pro football team.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I remember the Whalers. I don't know any Hartford Knights.
Yeah, the Hartford Knights. It was back in the 70s, and my gym teacher from Webb Junior High was the place kicker or punt.
Oh, get out.
Place kicker for them. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, Hartford Knights. It's
That's
a
crazy.
semi-pro
When
football
jousting
team.
was big.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
We love to bust on John
Bring
a
out
little
your
bit
dad.
just because he's our senior member.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, it's been
Yeah,
quite a
that's,
ride.
that's
you
quite
know.
a ride. Yeah, that's quite a
Yeah.
ride. Now you're with Mick, probably one of the best bands you played with over those
I'd say
few
yes.
years. Yeah,
Not just because you're here, but I mean,
Well, I'm
but-
just lucky to have you guys. You know,
Yeah.
y'all crush it. So
yeah, he's a very talented young man. And,
yeah. I was gonna say, Mick,
know.
you're the youngest of the band, huh? Yeah.
He don't pay us if we don't do well. We gotta try extra hard.
Yeah. And one thing I've always learned in all the bands I've been in over the years is that you play to the level of the people you're with. Truthfully, I was with some pretty crappy bands here in and out here and there. They know who they are.
Yeah.
No, but you always rise to the level of the other people in the band, and to have gifted musicians to play with who are it helps you. It brings everybody up
right.
a level.
Definitely.
And it always challenges us all to be better at what we do. And I'm always thinking after a show, what I did wrong, what I didn't do wrong, what I could do better, because we want the best for this guy. We want him to be famous.
That's cool.
And
Yeah.
that's our dream as well as your dream. So that's my American dream now.
Oh man, that was the
man.
sweetest
Nice.
thing,
Wow.
man. Look at this.
Incredible. Well, I want to take you guys with me as long as I can. So pack your shit. We're leaving. No.
I just want your music out there. It's like John says. There's just a lot of feeling into it, and it's not a bad thing when I say this. Like, it's not like super intellectual and hard to figure out. They're simple, good tunes that they're so relatable. That's what got me.
Yeah.
And I've been in a lot of original bands, and it's like, oh my god, it just suck.
Yeah.
The music we used to do, but his songs are. It's got the magic.
Nice.
It's got the magic.
Nice.
Well, Ronnie Van Zant always said, and I try to relate it to my music too and how I write and my craft. He said, I write songs for the common people, the street people. And the simpler you write it, the more people can relate to it, like you said. So that's the formula, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's working. It worked. It got me hooked.
You got any more up your sleeve that you're thinking about, that you have some notes on, anything like that?
I got woken up to my creative brain the other night at like 3 o'clock in the morning, because that's what'll happen to me. I'll be trying to go to sleep, and like I'll envision the fretboard in my head, and I'll see something play, and I'm like, gotta write it. So I jumped out of bed, turned the light on, and grabbed my guitar, and I have like a bunch of voice memos on my phone. I just hit record, and I was like, let's see what comes out.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, an hour later, I had a whole song. So
That's what makes an artist. Everyone's
Yeah.
creative, but an artist takes that little thought and they put it down on paper or.
Yeah, because if you don't, it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
another thought.
Yeah. You're like, I'll get that in the morning.
And then,
I'm
it never comes around.
It never comes back.
No,
Yeah.
you
Never
gotta,
comes back.
You gotta catch that magic when it happens, for sure.
So is it like words that are first? Is it the music that you hear first? Is it a little bit of both? Is it the sort of the beat or the vibe or the tone?
It's, I mean, 95% of the time it's music, like it's a guitar part. But I mean, there'll be like that handful of select times where it's words first.
Okay.
But I mean, regardless of what comes first, I just always have to like snap into somehow recording it because I don't want to lose it. You know.
Yeah. And then you reach out to your bandmates for like, what could be a good bass line, what could be a good, sort of backbone drum beat to this. Do you kind of collaborate on that sort of? But once you got the basics down, is there some of that, or you just sort of like write everybody's part?
Well, I mean, it depends on the song and how far I get with it on my own. Having a home studio is great because I can just kind of plug in and get like the bare bones for the song. And if I have specific leads that I want Jason to play, I'll record them and I'll be like, "This is your part." And I mean, same with bass if it gets that far. But it's kind of a mystery each time, which I guess is what makes it cool.
Do you actually write it down like notes, or do you guys just hear it and then you just got to remember it and play it?
Well, like for
do you write?
music?
Do you have sheet music?
Oh no,
So
I can't read sheet music. Can you read sheet music?
If I really tried, but what's the point? I mean, I used to be able to read music, but it's a whole nother language. It's like not speaking Spanish for 20 years and then having to go
gotcha.
back to it. So.
Sure.
Yeah,
So
same.
Mick will come to you with something.
Yeah,
Here.
it's like his box of magic, and he'll say, like, "This is what I have," and then me and John will not really interpret it. We'll pretty much play it how he wants it, but as we get looser with it, it loosens up, and he'll be like, "Oh, I don't do it there, but I like that part," or "John, that's cool."
Yeah.
That's the way we've kind of.
So you kind of like start making it your own.
Yeah.
A
Within
little
his
bit. There's
parameters
not,
kind
yeah.
of thing, I guess, if you will.
There's definitely a little bit of freedom there, but it's. We don't change. I'm not going to play like some Yes riff.
Sure. Of course. Yeah.
But it's pretty much he has a picture of a sound of a whole vibe within this song, and like Swamp People coming up. There's a thing about he does this cool slide part, and I try to do it the best I can. Mick's a much better, more fluent slide player than I am, so I try to do the best I
Thanks,
can.
buddy.
And, so anyway, I don't know if that answered the question at all.
Yeah, because I would think you'd want to kind of make it your own and own it instead of just like, oh, what did he? Yeah, no, that wasn't. I got to play that. He likes it that way. I would think then you would probably appreciate that too, like them owning the solo, owning the bass line, whatever, instead of trying to make sure that I hope Mick's got to like this, but if you like it, most likely he'll like it.
If
Right,
it doesn't,
yeah, exactly, yeah.
If we're like playing it live, there's been times where I've done stuff and he'll look back. I'm like, oh, you don't like that, I won't do it anymore. It just takes a look,
Okay.
or if I'll try some. But most of the time,
Nice.
it's pretty much locked into what he wants with a
Yeah.
little bit of variable there, and he's feeling the energy. And I'll say like, man, did you like what I did there? I didn't know if I was stepping on your shit. And he's like, no, that's great.
Yeah.
So-
He's like, no, don't do that again. It sucked.
Well, he'll say that, but he leaves out the "it sucked" part. Mick is he's a pretty much a good consummate leader when it comes to being
Yeah, no, that's cool.
very diplomatic.
Yeah, that's good.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, I mean, I just try to talk to people how I'd want to be talked to, and just treat people with respect. You
Yeah.
know? But there was a great idea he had for the song Chevy. After the final chorus, how I recorded it, it would just go back to the main lead, I think twice through, and then the song would be over. But he had the idea. He was like, "What about after the last chorus? There's like a quick pause. I don't
no
play the
lead
lead,
there, no,
and you
yeah.
do a solo."
Yeah, after
and
that.
that really just gave new life to the song.
Nice.
Yeah, there's
And
some.
I think people feel it too.
Yeah, I like arranging stuff. I mean, I do it, in my other projects, my older projects. So I have to temper what I want with what,
Yeah.
because this is Mick's thing. So I'll be like, hey, try this idea, and he'll be like, no, that don't work, and then I have to move on. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So, but that was an idea that worked. Some of them don't. Some are just like, that's shit, bro. Don't do this. I won't do it.
Well, I mean, you've had great ideas, like where I came from. When we do the end of that, and we kind of do a solo battle.
Oh, like
almost.
a solo thing. Yeah.
And we go back and forth twice, and then we're doing the
We did that kind of like in an improv one time.
Yeah.
We did it. We just looked at each other like, I'm going to play it, and then you play, motherfucker.
Yeah, Yeah, and
That
you
was
kind of
cool.
kept it major, but then I came with like a minor type
Yeah.
descending thing, and then the end of it, we both play the lead, but I'll play it an octave higher than what he does.
Oh,
so
the rhythm,
so when we
the
play it
melody
together,
part,
it just
yeah.
sounds like a wall of, perfectly pitched sound.
Yeah, yeah.
If I don't mess it up.
Yeah, Mick is a great guitar player. He's one of the funnest guitar players, that I've played with, because he's very talented, but he likes, there's not a lot of arrogance and ego. That's
Yeah.
usually my department.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's pretty much tempered. He's cool. Hey, I'm just being
You
Yeah.
said it, not me.
Just being honest.
so that's what makes it easy to play with him, because he allows for a lot of that. And as
Yeah.
a leader, I think it's good to let people stretch like that.
Yeah. Well, it shows that you guys are committed, not just to music, not just to Mick, but to the band, the whole thing, like making sure the audience has a good time, making sure that your names get out there, and just you're enjoying it, man. You're just having a good time, which
Being
which
nice
shows.
to people, the
and being
fans,
nice.
they come up
Yeah.
to us and then they tell us these stories. Like just the other night at Docs, I found out that 3 people, they're telling me about their family, and we're at the similar age. You were talking about your dad earlier, and
Yeah.
we're all at that similar age where we're taking care of our parents. And I went home from that gig, and I'm like, I am in such a cool position where these people are having. We can make them feel good.
Yeah.
Playing his songs and playing live and having this great time, and that they feel so good that they can open up to us, almost like in a therapeutic type of session, and that's what makes
Yeah.
it. And that's what makes it pretty awesome.
Well, I don't know. You remember like one of the last times we played a Hard Rock, and it was a full band thing. You remember the guy that was there, the one that was in a car wreck?
Yeah,
man. So we played Tuesday's Gone by Leonard Skinner. And after the show, he came up to me. He's like, dude, when you played Tuesday's Gone, I had tears in my eyes. I had to go to the bathroom. I was breaking down.
Wow.
And he's telling me about the car wreck he was in, and it was like $1 million, some high-dollar facial reconstruction surgery
Oof.
he had to go through. Had a whole
Yeah, I
bunch of metal in his
Yeah,
face.
yeah.
And his fingers were like fused a certain way.
Oof.
And he's telling me the story of it, and he starts tearing up. He's like, can I give you a hug, man? I was like, absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a
For
picture
the
with
love,
him.
yeah, for
Yeah.
the love of music,
Yep.
dude. That's what it is, for the love of music and the people. So.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
That's incredible. What you gonna stay with Matt for a while at Ace Tone?
Oh,
Or, do you
absolutely.
want to go? I mean, you're pushing to reach that next level, and you're getting there. How do you see it happening? Do you have any plans? Are you waiting? Are you exploring that? I don't know. It's a tough question. I don't even know what I'm asking.
Oh, no,
you
it's
know what I
all
mean?
right.
It's like how do you get to that next level where you get just a bigger audience? How does that go for you?
Well, all right. Well, to answer the question of staying with Matt, absolutely.
Cool.
The way I
Good.
see it is, if it ain't broke, don't fix
Sure.
it. And the thing about Matt is I've been working with him for so long now. He kind of, like these guys, I know how I play and how I write. And Matt especially, he did all the drum parts on everything I've recorded. So I kind of just want to stick to that formula, I guess is the best way to put it. But as far as reaching a larger audience, that's the blessing and a curse of social media.
Okay.
Because it's always changing. And now that, like, even with record labels now, how it used to be back in the day is, that you'd be playing out, there wasn't really a whole lot of social media going on, and you just waited for the moment where an A&R rep from, like, we'll say Atlantic or insert label name here shows up at your
Right.
show.
Yeah, like you see on TV, right? You
Yeah.
guys were great. I want to sign you.
No,
Yeah,
all of a sudden
yeah.
they're millionaires.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
said
right.
that way.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, and maybe it's fortunate in some ways too, that doesn't happen anymore. Now they just care about your online numbers, and you see, and I don't want to say stupid because that's just mean and not fair, but like, for lack of a better term, stupid talent can get recognized.
Yeah.
Like Haley Welch, the Hawk Tuah girl, not a stupid person, very
Yeah.
pretty and kind of really funny like us, but to become that famous over
That blew me
making
away.
a sexual joke.
Why
Yeah.
would
So she was down. You've been.
You know
in
the
Nashville.
Hawk Tuah.
Hawk
You know
Tuah.
the
You
Hawk
ever been
Tuah?
down on Broadway
Yeah,
in Nashville?
Yeah, but I don't know. Is that like
So
a club?
Well, no. So is that the new ring?
Is now tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
Line them up. Great
You know?
club name.
Holding their own head. But no. So down on Broadway in Nashville, there's usually these people, and it'll be like a couple of guys go around with a microphone and they'll just ask you like stupid questions. But so this girl Haley and her friend, they were down on Broadway, And they got approached by a guy, and obviously men are pigs. We know that. You know, I make dumb jokes, everybody does. But anyway, so the guy asks him, he goes, "What's the best move to get a guy in bed?" And she just comes out, and this is what made her famous. She goes, "You got to hawk to a spit on that thing. You get me?"
Oh, wow.
Made her
Famous.
thousands.
She's not
of
wrong.
dollars.
She's not
She's
wrong.
got her own podcast
Yes,
now.
podcast
called,
now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's called Talk to a. That's the name of her podcast.
No shit.
Yeah.
There was some other things. She was invited. Wasn't she invited to some event or something? I don't
Yeah.
know, some crazy. I'm like,
So,
what?
yeah,
Nuts.
she was on Whitney Cummings' podcast. And if you don't know who Whitney Cummings
Yeah,
is,
she's a comedian.
hilarious.
Yeah, she's hilarious.
Yes,
Wow.
she was on her podcast, and she said, "Who's your celebrity crush?" Because now you're at a level where you can meet them. She said Matt Rife, and Whitney had Matt Rife's number, so she FaceTimed him. And long story short,
You're at that level where you can be okay,
Right,
like,
dude.
in like a week or something crazy.
all because you made a blowjob joke.
Yeah.
Here we are writing songs,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
all I got to do is, hawk to it, and now I'm famous. Ridiculous.
We'll see how long that lasts, that
crazy.
staying power. If she can keep it afloat,
Yeah.
that's good for her.
Well,
But
yeah,
you know,
well, I
flash
mean,
in the pan, you know.
Well, that was the thing.
Yeah.
People were like, "Your 15 seconds or minutes, however long, is going to be over." But
She's
now,
still
I mean,
going?
well, she's pushing it. I mean, Joey Diaz, he was, I don't remember who's, I think it was Joe Rogan's podcast. They were talking about her.
Yep.
And he made the point they're trying to now transition her from Hawk Tua to Haley Welch. So she's going on podcasts, and there's been talk of like a reality show, because they're trying to take her from that sexual joke to now developing her into a person, which she
Wow.
obviously is, but kind of giving her that influencer.
Cool.
That's crazy.
Cool.
I mean, that's great, man. Hope she
Yeah,
makes
I mean,
it.
more
That's
power
awesome.
to you. And I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure she's the sweetest person you'd ever meet.
Let's
you
slip
know?
her the American Dream song. Let's slip her some of your music. Get on that podcast.
I love that you said song, because all I heard was "Let's slip her the American Dream." I'm like, what are you talking
No,
about?
no. That's a drug we just came up with.
It's a home full of love that won't hawk to it in time. You know?
That's a crazy story, though.
It's a nuts.
How did I get off on this blowjob rant?
We were talking about getting famous.
You're getting famous, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, making
Yep.
it big. to
Oh
the
yeah,
Next level.
Instagram sucking dick famous. Okay,
Yeah, that's how
so
that works. Well, there's that
yeah.
I mean, going back a ways, there's that Justin Bieber, right? He was discovered on YouTube or something, just doing it as
Yeah,
a kid. Just
covers.
some.
Yeah.
Was it a cover?
yeah, he was doing covers
just singing,
online,
and
there
somebody
was, I mean,
saw him, and
Yeah, and I
the
mean,
rest
there
is
was
history.
Yeah, I mean, there was multiple singers that way, like Becky G, who now does a lot of like reggaeton music, but she started out doing covers online, and that's how she got found. And that's really the key to it now, is just building an online audience. That's what they care about. And I mean, it's spanned across to other crafts too, like acting. I mean, for people that want to, so like, if they're going to take you on as like their client, basically, they want to see what kind of audience you've built on your own, so that way they can take you and, I don't know if change you is the right word, because
Maybe mold you.
mold, that's a
Yeah.
better
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Mold you, and they're like, okay, you've already got this built-in audience that we can, sell you to. And, with our power, we can bring you to a new audience, I guess. They kind of want you to do more legwork these days.
Yeah.
They kind of look at it like, well, what can you do for me, rather
Sure.
than the other way around. So,
Yeah.
but
It's hard.
I find being independent, it's, it's tougher, but it's more rewarding, I guess, because you work for it and you earn it on your own, and you own what you get. I mean, that's the thing with record labels a lot too. I was looking at statistics. Record labels will own 50 to 90% of what you put out.
That's crazy.
And I guess it's where I'm lucky enough, being a leader of the band, is I have a really hard time with people telling me what to do. So like, I'll get kind of pissed. Like if I don't ask them for direction, they're like, you need to do this. I'm like, get fucked. I'm gonna do it my way. It just pisses me off.
Yeah.
But we work well together. That goes without saying. And just, I'm rambling at this point, but yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I
it's
think
good.
it's-
So what purpose? I mean, there's still record companies out there, but I'm thinking, like
Yeah.
you said, I mean, there's so many you can just jump on, self-publish. You have a little. I mean, the equipment's good now. There's so much affordable equipment that you can get. It sounds all good, and you just record something, you throw it up on YouTube, or and then before you know it, I mean, can you can you start your own record label? Does it matter? Are you independent? I mean, can you get to a certain level being independent, or do you need to have some sort of a label or that level of expertise, I guess, if you will?
Well, I mean, it depends on, I guess at that point, what you define the next level as.
Okay.
And I mean, even, when you ask people like, what's your idea of success? I guess is you know you could relate it to that too. And just how
I mean,
far
you might
you
have
wanna
found
push it.
success already, right? I mean, you're doing your own thing. You're playing your own music. You're surviving.
Yeah, I mean,
you're
I'm
living.
paying my bills, playing my guitar, and singing
Yeah,
my songs.
I mean,
that's,
someone could say you've reached your success.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, yeah. I mean, it's a double-sided coin.
Sure.
You know, that like, I guess I have reached my level of success, but it's also from there. It's how many more people do you want to play for? Bigger stages too. I mean, because we've started out in dive bars in the middle of nowhere. Not that those places aren't fun. We've got a lot of good memories from places like that. Like you remember the Halloween party at Crossroads? Big Daddy, you remember the dude with the purple
That was
suit?
actually a fun night, yeah.
That was really
he made
fun.
It fun, yeah.
Yeah.
He made it
Yeah, I
fun.
remember
Crossroads
that.
was tough though, because all those pool tables, no one even cared whether we were.
Yeah.
We could have been Miley Cyrus. I don't think they really would
Yeah.
care. Is Miley Cyrus popular right now? I don't know. I'm not on social media.
I don't know.
I don't know. Last time I saw her, she was coming in like a wrecking ball, so I'm not.
That was years
Sure.
ago.
Yeah.
That's how up to date I am.
But that was a fun place. I'm glad we don't play there no more. Sorry, Crossroads.
yeah.
Do you find that sometimes? I mean, I'll go to shows, and I haven't seen it at your shows where you're trying to play, and everybody's like they're just chatting, or they're playing pool, or they're eating, or they're just
Oh, yeah.
drinking
That
beers,
was,
and nobody's really.
We've
played
played
a
a
few of
handful
those.
of gigs.
Yeah.
That's
like
got to
that.
be difficult to keep the energy up to play. I
It's
would
tough.
think.
I'll tell you a story. I played a pizza place one time, solo acoustic. Somebody actually told me to shut up.
Wow.
I thought that was the falafel place.
No, the falafel place is actually fun, but it was kind of a
was
tough
one guy-
setup because it's playing there. It's like the dead of the summer, and they have you on the sidewalk with like a singular umbrella over you, and you can never get the sun to like not be on you.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So you're
I was thinking of
outside
the wrong
playing, and
place.
you're like, rock me mama like a wagon wheel, but meantime you're like sweating, so you're like, let's get this wheel the hell out of here, you know.
Sorry, tell about that guy at the pizza place, because I thought that was the fun.
Yeah, so I won't name the pizza place because they actually have really good food there. I would go there and have dinner, but yeah, I mean, so how it's set up, so like you walk in, you're kind of in like the vestibule area, and there's like this waiting bench, and you set up like right there, and you're playing, and you're right next to the bar, and I mean, you know, a handful of times that I'd been there, I mean, I'd be playing and either like no applause or like a couple of people, but a lot of the time I'd be playing and I'd look over at the bar and a lot of people have headphones in and they're scrolling
really?
on their phone, and you're kind of just like, man, I don't care what you're paying me. This is like embarrassing almost, you know.
It's hard.
It's tough. It
Yeah,
is.
especially if
that's
you're
gotta
playing
be.
original music. He's
Yeah.
he's got his heart out there, and
That's
you
hard.
get no feedback. It's like, dude.
Yeah, so I was playing there one night, and it was this guy on the farther end of the bar, and I don't know if he had been drinking. Not that makes it okay, but that could have been a variable. I'm playing, and he just goes, "Can you just shut up and get out?" And I'm like, "Not for another hour and a half, buddy."
If I was there, I would have said something if I was there.
Wow.
I'm like, dude, fuck off, you know.
That's gotta hurt. I mean, but then the next day or a couple days later, you're playing something, and then you rocking it, and the house is dancing and jumping around. So that brings you back. But that's because you're putting your heart out there, especially when you're playing
Yeah.
originals.
Well, I mean, that's what makes you appreciate the people that appreciate you that much more, and it just makes you want to work harder for them.
Yeah.
And it's part of the game too. You can't please
Yeah.
everybody.
No, you wouldn't go back there, obviously. I mean, you'd be like, I'm not going back
No,
to
I
that
wouldn't
place.
take a
I'm
gig
not
back
gonna try again. Like, not gonna happen.
There's plenty of places.
There's plenty of
to play.
places.
Oh yeah, and I mean, places are opening every day too.
Yeah.
You know?
I've noticed too, like there'd be like small little pizza place. There's a little place in Madison I frequent a couple of times, and there's no room for a band, like at all. But there's like this little acoustic. I don't know if it was just a solo woman or girl or whatever, or she had a partner, I forget. But it was like there's no room. She's like right in the hallway, like this little you walk through little cross. My point is like it seems like there's some venues that really aren't set up for music at all, but they're like
lot of
they're
places,
taking
yeah.
a stab at it, see if they can get some customers in the door, or for whatever reason they're doing it for. Which is, I mean, I guess it's good if the music's good. She was actually pretty good. She was kind of cool to listen to. She had a following. She had some family and friends there. It was a cool little spot.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it was good to see. But I still like going to the clubs, to like the, you know, with the crowds and the big bar and the scene and the lights and the whole bit. Man, it's a blast. Yeah. And it sounds good. I mean, you guys got a good sound. The music's good, but the sound, like the physical, what do you call it? Technological sound part of it sounds great. Yeah.
It's a science for sure. And Jason, he's We're lucky because, I mean, if you ever, I'm sure you've seen his pedal board. He's got like the inside of like an iPhone 25 down there at his feet. But a lot of it, like on the right side, correct me if I'm wrong, you've got those EQ pedals, right?
Yeah. I got
So on the PA head we use, it's like a 7-band EQ on there?
Yeah,
something
it's nice.
like
An old
that.
school PV tube.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah,
It's
so
from
I
the
mean,
80s.
and I had no idea how to work that, but he came in, he's like, let me take a stab at this. And however you did it, we just keep it that way. This, only tweak it sometimes, but you made it sound crisp, man.
Yeah, we all have it down to a science, and every room is a little bit different
Yeah.
because if there's glass, it's hard. 'cause
Speaker
it
placement
projects.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Softtail is tough because the way the roof is.
It's like a cone.
Yeah, sometimes it can be too loud. Maybe we're guitar players. We like to swing it, so we turn
Sure.
up and up and up. But
Yeah.
we try
Yeah.
to make each venue has its own little thing we have to adjust to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have it. I mean, you do. So you guys mix your own out in the field, right? You get up, you set up, you back and forth. There's no audio guy doing it for you.
Right.
Have you
Unless,
ever?
like we played at the Terryville Fair.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was awesome. Pro sound.
Huge stage.
Okay.
Huge stage, pro sound. The sound guys were just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We actually sounded good on stage. A lot of times we played in Cape Cod at this big, at the Pan Mass Challenge. It's this big, huge thing. And pro sound, but the sound coming off for me was not great. I don't know, the monitors, we were coming back. It was just horrible. I didn't.
What? It wasn't mixed well, not loud
It was
enough.
just, it sounded like I was coming from a tin can. It was like,
okay.
It just made the experience not great. I'm sure it didn't sound like that out there, but
Yeah.
for me, and you only want to say too much because I'm just a nobody in the band. I don't want to be like, hey, sound guy, fix this.
Yeah.
So I want to say that, but I don't.
You should say that. Say that next time. See what happens.
I'm gonna. No.
Yeah.
Well, maybe work on your delivery a little bit.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I can be a little passionate. We'll call it. That's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
You suck.
Where was I? There was a place in Hartford. Oh, it was Sally's or something. It was a place.
Sally's.
Black Eyed Sally's.
Black Eyed Sally's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they got their own sound guy there. I don't know if you ever played there. And
I've never played there. I live right down the street from it.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't been there in forever. But I was recording somebody there, and I had a camera, and I had a camera. I used my camera mic for sound. It was single camera. And then I had a little recorder, and I got the feed from the board, which wasn't good because it was mixed for the room. And I just sort of combined those, like, for the video, and it worked out okay.
Worked out pretty good.
Yeah, it was okay. I mixed it a little bit, trying to, whatever I had to do. But in the room, it sounded pretty good. But
It's a cool room.
yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I've seen bands play there. A couple bands start a little earlier for the dinner crowd, and they just crank it right up.
Yeah.
But like 10 o'clock, it's not as dinnery. It's more bar-like.
Sure.
And it's a
Yeah.
cool place.
Yeah, I haven't been there in a while. Yeah, it's a cool spot. Yeah, it really is a cool spot. You should play there. Think you got an audience there?
Rob and I, we actually went there a couple times trying to get a hold of the Big Cheese over there.
Okay.
Never got in there, but who
Okay.
knows? I
yeah,
mean,
might be a good spot.
yeah. I mean, going back to our fans and just, I can never say enough how lucky and grateful we are for all you guys.
That's awesome.
We get to play at the Dublin. There's a couple there. I think it was the Dublin that saw us. There was a guy who was there with his wife, and I guess he frequents the Winchester a lot. And Rob and I, we had previously tried to get into the Winchester, and the lady told me, she's like, your music's not good enough, you'll never play here. That's essentially what she said. And I was,
Really?
Yeah, I was like, all right, whatever. But this guy and his wife, they ended up seeing us, and they went back, and they told her, they were like, you need to get this band in there. They're phenomenal. And lo and behold, a week and a half or however long later, Rob and I are on our way somewhere. And I got a call from her. She's like, yeah, I want you guys to come play here. We were like, yeah,
Yes.
Finally. So,
Yeah,
Nice.
that's pretty cool.
That is
They
very
hook
cool.
us up. Yeah, Cindy has gotten us. Are we allowed to mention names?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Cindy has gotten us a few gigs, and it's just our fans are, like you said, they're just awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got 2 guitars, your bass, drum.
Mhm.
Any keyboards in the future? Do you use keyboards on some of the recorded stuff? You want to add band members? Do you have any thought to that?
We jammed with a keyboard player one time, my buddy Chris.
Okay.
And he's phenomenal.
Oh, he
he
was
played
great.
keys in the Whiskey River Band for like ever. But now he's more of a freelance guy. And if you ever get a chance to see him play, you should, because he's just phenomenal. But yeah, I don't think we'll be adding any extra instruments to the band. Because it's just kind of got like that perfect mix
Right.
now.
Yeah.
So we just keep tightening it up every time. And,
Yeah.
So.
Add another member is a whole nother.
That's all,
It's like
that
a whole
Well,
other
it's a whole
ingredient to
nother
a
thing.
4-ingredient soup.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it changes the dynamic.
It does.
Sure, change everything.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of the stuff we do doesn't really.
No,
call
and
for
a lot of my
keys,
I mean,
really.
a lot of my music is very simple, so we don't want to overcomplicate it. We were 3 guitars at one point, and then we went down to 2, and I was like, this is how it should be.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
3 guitars was something. It's a lot to have. You
Yeah.
know, that's 4 string instruments in a band.
yeah,
You know, Leonard Skinner could pull it off. 38 Special could pull it off, but it takes a lot of tempering
yeah,
to do that. It's hard.
and they're all playing different things.
yeah, it's pretty hard.
2 drummers, add a drummer.
Yeah, like JMO. You should
right.
tell them how you saw
Yeah.
JMO at Whole Foods.
Oh, so big Allman Brothers fan. So I'm in Whole Foods. This was in West Hartford. This had to be. It wasn't quite 10 years ago, but maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, something like that. So if you walk in to Whole Foods, this was in, I think it was Bishop's Corner. You walk into Whole Foods, you walk right into the produce section. So I walk in. I was there for, I don't know what I was getting. And here's this dude he's like behind the berry thing, and he's just looking at berries. So I'm like, it's like, that J-Mo? I'm like, no. So I'm looking, I'm like, oh shit, that's J-Mo.
Does he live in West Hartford?
His wife has family in Bloomfield.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So because I asked him, I was like, "What the hell are you doing here?" He's like, "My wife has family in Bloomfield." But that was like the only like normal question I asked him. So I go around. I was like, "You J-Mo?" He's like, "Where?" You know. so then we get to talking, and I'm like babbling idiot, right? I'm just because I'm been following him forever, and it's like he's awesome. So I did get that one question out of him, like, "What are you doing here?" And he answered. And then he kind of like he's trying to get away from me. I'm like, all right, I gotta let this guy go, because he's walking, and I'm like following.
You got the camera. I can take a picture, though.
Jesus. Yeah, but I never got his autograph. I didn't get a picture with him. Like,
Yeah,
just
that's cool,
it
yeah.
doesn't, and it's fine. But I met him. It was great. I mean, I've met him before because he used to play this little place in Canton, Collinsville. It's like a little dinner theater type place,
Near
and he
the
plays with his
the Axe Factory out there.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, with his jazz band.
Okay.
He's great to watch. So we'd go in and we're sitting there, and he's the only one. He's for an hour. We're there before an hour before the band starts, and he's on stage, and he's like with his drum kit. He's just like for like 45 minutes.
Wow.
He's just tinkering with his drum kit.
Tuning it up.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. It was great watching him. He's so precise. And then they play, and then after there was like a little meet and greet thing, so I was able to shake his hand. But seeing him in Whole Foods was like, yeah, that was pretty wild.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw he played Ridgefield Playhouse. Came through social media. I think I don't know how I found it. Maybe an email. It was like it was Friends of the Almonds kind of show, and so some of the guys have been with him forever, and I forget that whole thing. And the special guest was J-Mo sitting in with them. So I'm
That's
like, I
so
got to
cool.
get tickets. So I got tickets. I was like 4 rows back in the center. I got like a bead on him. He's like right there. So I'm watching. Great show. I mean, it wasn't the Allman Brothers, but it was amazing. And
He
he played.
recognize you?
No, he didn't recognize me. I was like, hey man, remember Whole
Right,
Foods?
Whole Foods,
I'm
right
the berry
here,
guy.
bro.
It was great. It was his 80th birthday. So after the show, the whole place, lights go on, everybody's singing happy birthday.
Oh, wow,
His wife
that's so
came out,
cool.
his family was there, his daughter came out and sang a number. It was great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was very cool. Very cool show. So that was a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and plus Ridgefield Playhouse, cool spot. Never been there.
I was just in Bishop's Corner, man.
Were you? Yeah, he might still be there.
The hell?
Go check it out.
Ridgefield
Yeah.
Playhouse. I think I saw Robin Trower there.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
nice little venue, man. I like it. Small little theater. It's tucked away back there. It's like behind a school or something. I don't know. It's a cool little spot. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. I saw him, and then he's the last Allman left. Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
sad.
Man.
Yeah.
I saw Allman Brothers, I think it was when I was drinking, so it's probably like 7 years ago with Derek Trucks.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I was in Pennsylvania. That was with Greg Allman.
Okay.
I think was it before he maybe. I can't remember. I was
Yeah.
doing a lot of drugs when I was drinking, but I do remember Derek Trucks just being just an
Oh.
amazing slide player.
Oh, yeah.
Incredible.
Oh my god!
So
yeah.
it was like
The
never
SG?
sharp or flat.
Right.
It's amazing. Yeah. He's
that
amazing.
that was a cool show.
And Warren Haynes, man.
Yeah.
Warren
He
Haynes.
can play.
Yeah, he's got that Gummer. I was listening to an album. I forget what it's called, and I forget the name of the album. Warren Haynes. It's so different. It was like this. He had some like reggae guys on there doing like really cool stuff.
Like
man.
a studio album.
It was like a studio
Oh,
album. Yeah,
cool.
yeah, really good stuff. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, really
I
good.
saw him last year, 2 years ago. I was at the new Bridgeport Pavilion, and he was doing Dark Side of the Moon, but Dark Side of the
Okay,
Mule.
yeah, okay.
Yeah. That
That's
was a good
cool.
venue. Have
Dark
you ever been
Side
to
of
that
the
venue? You ever been to the?
Is that the one with the big tent?
Yeah.
Do you like it? I've heard mixed reviews on it, sound wise.
I mean, I love it. I thought, just the architecture alone.
Okay.
Like, how did they build this thing? It's phenomenal. I think, the food's good. I think there's not a bad seat in the house.
Okay.
I've seen
You liked it?
4 shows there. I thought it was pretty
all
good.
right, that's good to know. All right,
Maybe
yeah.
getting out car-wise is not great. It's kind
Okay.
of tough sometimes. But I
'Cause I've talked to a couple
liked
people
it.
didn't really like the sound. They feel, I guess maybe they're sitting in a different spot.
Depends on where you're sitting.
Yeah.
Because I saw Billy Strings, and my buddies were up front, and I'm like, I can handle 4 songs, but then I had to move around, so I caught, and there's definitely some sections where
Okay.
the sound is not great, it bounces off.
Right,
but-
because they got that tent or something's probably.
Well, the way, they built it, I would say, if I sat in 10 different places, 9 of them sounded good. That was just
okay.
my experience.
All right,
So.
that's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Billy at the Yale, the old Yale tennis thing, whatever
Yeah.
it's called now. What's it called now?
I don't know.
I don't know, whatever. It was
Oh,
really
you
good.
mean the West?
The Westville Music Bowl.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Music
So,
Bowl.
yeah, I've
Yeah,
been there a
Music
couple
Bowl.
times. Saw
Yeah.
Trey there.
It's not Yale. It's the U.S. Open tennis thing.
Yeah,
It's
that's a
not
great
Yale.
venue.
It's a great venue.
Perfect, because it's like
Yeah.
you said, a tennis thing. There's really not a bad seat in the house.
No.
All right there.
No, it's perfect. Yeah, it's all open.
We would crush there. That'd be awesome. That'd be,
you
One
should
day.
play.
Yeah.
You should play there. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll get there, man. That'd be great.
that'd be
I
awesome.
hope so.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So that's a good question. So, do you want to sell more records, which people don't sell records anymore? So it's really about the live shows, right? It's just getting bigger
Yeah.
live shows. So would that be like kind of where you're headed now? It's like, let's build our live shows. Let's get bigger venues. Are you kind of looking in that direction?
Yeah, I mean that's been our main goal as far as the full band, and it seems to be working. I would say. What do you think?
It's a slow process. It's a hard process. I don't play the social media game. You play. It's very hard, but
Yeah.
I think that's just keep getting fans, and more people show up, the bigger it gets, and it's just.
Like any festivals, fairs? You got Durham fairs coming up, Guilford Fair, all those for this fair season coming up. Anything like that you've sort of approached or thought about?
Well, we were lucky enough to play the Terryville Fair not too
Nice.
long ago. I think we were the first band of the day.
Yeah, we got to headline that because the band that.
Terryville Fair. When was that? My daughter lives in Terryville.
Rob, when was?
3-4 weeks.
Yeah, it's
3-4
like,
weeks
yeah,
ago.
4 weeks ago.
That's next to Bristol, right? Terryville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just making sure it's the
so,
right place.
So we were fortunate enough to play there, and just the people out in Terryville.
Okay.
They're awesome.
Oh, they're
man.
great. Oh,
I
they're-
mean, it was a beautiful
they're
day,
great
but in
people.
the sun it was hot. But I mean, we had people that grabbed their lawn chairs and just parked themselves there for the whole set.
Yeah.
Did not move. And we had to take a break halfway through because they were doing announcements. But these people, they didn't even leave. They were like,
Yeah.
I'm going to stay here and bake till they're done.
Terryville's great. I've been
Yeah.
to a couple parties at my daughter's house with their family, and it's just like.
Yeah,
It's
there's going
like-
to be
it's
a new
awesome.
venue there in 2025, Nashville.
Oh, Nashville, yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Oh, that's right.
Alright.
Remember you talking about that one. Yeah.
What did that used to be?
Shoot Gates.
What was it?
Shoot Gates.
Shoot Gates?
Shoot Gates. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else? I think we're going to wrap it up. I think this was great, guys. Any last thoughts? You want to give your info again? Make sure people can find you, especially people at those big venues need some talent.
Yeah, man. So if you want the best band ever, no, I'm just kidding. We're not full of ourselves that much.
Getting
Yeah,
Getting there.
getting there. Yeah, no, you can find us at themicklewisband.com. We're always playing twice a week, it seems, and that trying to keeps to be, continues to go on.
Good.
So just want to say thank you guys for everything and keeping this train rolling. It's all for you guys. So thank you. So,
Sweet.
Yeah, cool. And thanks for having us too. This
Yeah,
is
Yeah,
You're
man,
welcome.
thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us again,
Yeah,
bro.
you were great. I'm glad to get you up. Next time we'll get you back with the drummer. We'll get you in
Yeah.
the corner. We'll set up and we'll do some live. We'll do some recording. We'll do some video
Yeah, man.
recording.
Awesome.
Video.
Yeah, dude,
That would
so-
be cool.
Music stuff.
We'd
It'd
have
be
to
a blast.
keep the volume maybe a little low. We can get pretty loud.
Why? No, I don't care. It's
Okay,
good.
cool.
I got no. They
That
sell.
was a
They sell
test.
shoes next door, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there. And then there's nobody else. So
Oh,
we're
really?
good, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
crank it up.
Right.
Yeah, it'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah, we got big amps.
Hey, man,
so.
thanks
yeah.
for having us back.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
thanks so
Thanks
much.
for coming. Thanks, everybody.